What's up, everybody? Matt Johnson back with the latest episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We have no guests, but it is a live Friday episode for us, and so the evil bald ninja himself is here to join us and close out a very merry 2018. We're talking about some wins. What are our wins for this particular year, especially towards the end of this year going into next? So we've got some fun things to talk about. We also might talk about football, conspiracy theories, and really anything else that crosses our mind because we have no guest and we can do whatever the hell we want. So first of all, the junior grandmaster himself is in the co-pilot seat where you so belong. Greg McDaniel, what's up today?
What up, man?
I greet you, sir.
I am so glad to be back. I love our Friday episodes. I had to curse Gene out before we started the show because he got me hooked on a podcast all about conspiracy theories called Tin Hat. And oh my God, if the 10% of what they talk about is true, we are so foobarred, it's not even funny. But
yeah, what's the correct name of the show, Gene?
Tinfoil Hat.
Tinfoil Hat.
Tinfoil Hat. Okay, I knew it wasn't that. I knew it was 3 words. So Tinfoil Hat.
Yeah,
which
crazy.
You can't really. I don't know if you can tell, Gene, if your opinion on this, but your opinion was that it's not. They don't necessarily believe all this. It's partially to talk. It's literally a podcast that talks about conspiracy theories. They're not advocating which ones they think are right or not. But yeah, so it's fun whether you're a conspiracy theorist or whether you're just entertained by the idea.
It is.
It's one of those things where like I believe some of it. Like there's definitely some stuff that makes total sense. But then when you watch it and they talk about lizard people, I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's another reasoning. I feel like that's a lot of why people listen to this show is because they're kind of on board with sales and marketing, but that sounds pretty sketchy to me. I'll listen to it because they talk about things that I'm kind of semi-interested in, but maybe not so much.
I don't think so. People love us. They love our information. Matt, your little piece of coal that you call a heart is still beating away over there while my big heart of love is just giving and loving. That's why people love it.
That's
anyways,
right. that combination of heartless and heartful. You're like a walking Hallmark card.
Dude, I have some of our very good friends who are Mr. Aaron Wittenstein. If he has a bad day, he calls me up for a cheer up. He does.
Actually, I would believe that. I would believe that. If I needed to pick me up, I might actually call you too. Okay, gentlemen, let's try to keep this one semi on the rails. So wins. Greg, besides your burpees for the day.
Yes, 45 today, baby. Woo! On the pain train to 60 here, coming up as soon as we can. Okay. My girlfriend she's like, I told her that I was up to reps of 12, and she said, well, we gotta get to 15. I'm like, I can do that. She's like, ultimately, we need to be doing 3 or 4 sets of 30. I'm like, blah. Okay. But hey, dude, I'm fitting in my shirts, man. I'm fitting back in my shirts. I'm feeling stronger, so I'm really feeling good. That's a good win. Now that I'm 40. I don't want to be chubby anymore. I want to be fit 40, man. I want to be back in my fighting weight, air quotes. But it wins. Here are some really big wins. Majority of my career, majority of this year, I've been doing transactional based real estate. Painful ass shit, right? It's just browbeating, one foot in front of the other. It's not fucking fun. Well, what I'm doing, and I do it so simplistically. I mean, literally, I have stickies in front of me every single day. One of them says SOC for send out cards, and one of them says database. What I do is I just hold myself accountable to put, at least 3 send out cards a day. And then what I do is I make sure I do at least 10 database calls a day, cleaning up my database, touching base with people. Now, why would this be effective? Well, 2 weeks ago, I was doing some calls. I hadn't talked to one of my leads, my past clients in 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years, right? Call him up. I'm like, this dude's never going to remember me. Called him up. He's like, hey, Greg, what's going on, man? How's life? We chatted for a while. And I just said, hey, how's life? How's the kids? How's the house? And he's just like, funny you mention about that. The house is getting too big for us. We're going to sell it. And so I went over. I dropped him a box of candy off, took a look at the house. I referred him up to my buddy Sean Smith up in the Sacramento area where he's like, stay in touch, man. Let's get this home sold in July. I went over yesterday to a past client's house. And I just thought I was dropping candies off to them. They sat me down. We had tea and cookies, of course. They're 82 years old. They're hilarious. And we sat down, and they said, well, Greg, we want to get serious with you. I'm like, okay, what's up? We got a question? They're like, yeah. We want to sell this house, and we want to go buy in an active senior community. And so I sat there for 2 hours drinking tea and eating cookies and talking about options with them. And it was legitimately fun. Like, I walked out of that house going, this shit is fun, man. I can do this kind of real estate. Like, this is exciting. And so what I would encourage you, the huge wins for 2018 is get relational. Stop being transactional. Treat people how you'd want to be treated. I know it's cliche. I know it's corny. I know that. But legitimately do that. Go out and just, like, I did a call yesterday to an insurance guy. I hadn't talked to this guy since 2013. I almost did. I was literally hovering over the delete button on the contact in Top Producer. I'm like, nah, I'll just call him. Called him up. I'm like, hey, Bob, it's Greg. It's not Bob from Remax. We like this Bob. I got a funny story about that, by the way. And Bob, it's Greg. Yeah, we talked. I'm like, I bet you don't remember me. He's like, of course I do, Greg. How's your dad doing? How's Chris? I'm like, holy shit, are you serious? So he and I are going to grab lunch sometime in the new year. It's phenomenal to see these results take place. And so that's my big takeaway, is to really get away from being transactional, get to be personable and relationship based, but use things like the Volpinator, the Evil Bald Ninja's services to start that wide funnel out there in the world, bring them into your universe, then cultivate and create a relationship with them and bring personal value to each one of these people. And I got to tell you, man, that's really my biggest takeaway, and I'm really seeing positive, good, fun results from it. So that's my huge rant to an easy question.
Gene, before I want to pick, and I'll give some examples of what's going on in my business, but what say you? What say you to this transactional versus relational marketing idea?
Oh no, definitely. I think there's going to be such a huge turn to getting outside your comfort zone. There's so much activity and noise on these social media platforms now that in order to really do meaningful business, you got to get off them. So I think they're definitely still going to be useful for making that initial contact. But I think ultimately you got to do what Greg is talking about, which is get in people's wheelhouse. I told this story before on a previous show about a friend that I had. That you guys know what Melaleuca is? You ever hear that stuff?
No.
It's like one of those network marketing things. They sell these like soaps.
Adult diapers?
Yeah, well, they probably have those too, I would think. I haven't started. Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know.
It was so random.
It popped in. I think it came from Melaleuca sounds vaguely like Methuselah and something else. What is it? Metamucil. That's so two things associated with.
So Melaleuca, if you're listening, Matt Johnson doesn't like your name. So rebrand. Call me for a rebrand.
That's right.
But I told the story where I met with one of their guys who was a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I said to him, like, he was doing all these crazy events, and I said, you never really sell a service. Like, I've been with you 100 times, and you never really tried to, get me to buy anything or sign up or anything. And he's like, it's not time. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, my MO is that, and this was years ago, really. He said, my MO is to create a relationship with you and get you to a point where I feel then I get comfortable enough because our trust level's high enough. I get comfortable enough with presenting my ask. And he's like, but I need you right here. So, like, I bring you into my fold. I let you mingle and wander around. When the time's right, I grab you by your collar and I sell you my service. And I thought that was a real visual for me, which is like, think about it. You're on your computer talking to people, making relationships and transactions where you really need to be is right here. Right? This is where you need to be. But in order to get me here, I sort of have to trust you first, right?
Yeah, you really do. You really do. The trust has to be there, has to be earned. I think a lot of the times we have the misconception because real estate agents, we get sold a bill of goods, in my personal opinion. We have, like the Grandmaster, me Papa, T. Diddy, got into the business 46 years ago, almost 47 years ago. What we found was that the fact that, like, his was all relationship based. I mean, everything he did was relationship based. But now we've all stepped away from that because we're fearful of our fellow man. When someone comes to our house or someone calls us on the phone, we don't want to talk to that other person. We're afraid they're going to be a robocall. We're afraid there's going to be a pedophile. We're afraid there's going to be a robber showing up at the front door, all kinds of stuff, which I think we've got to get back to. We've got to get back to that building trust and bringing value, which really sucks. I don't know why. Why did our mindset in society change so much on that? I don't know. I mean,
I think we have, and it's not necessarily his fault, but I think we have people like Gary Vee to thank for that, because he has created the impression, he and a lot of social media experts have created the impression that attention equals dollars. And
Right.
I had an interesting experience. So I had a gal on my UX podcast, and she's a kind of a profit strategist, branding, marketing, savant genius, right? So one of her clients comes to her and says, "Hey, I need help with my social media strategy. I really want to do some more stuff on Instagram." And she's like, "Okay, well, why do you want to do that?" "Well, I want more followers." "Okay, well, why do you want more followers?" I don't understand. Like, I want more money.
Oh,
And
interesting.
right. So it
Oh,
completely skips over the 17 steps in between getting followers and turning them into clients. There were somehow in the minds of a lot of people in our world, salespeople like real estate agents, marketers, anybody that's kind of online on social media, we have kind of compressed all that stuff into followers and attention equals cash, which is not necessarily true, right? It can be true. It can be true if you build that bridge from one to the other, and if you're really good at having those conversations. But I don't think it's not definitely not something that comes automatically. And to your point, Greg, the more conversations that you're having in the real world, that's ended up being more effective. And you have to have that bridge that gets them from social media into actually working with you. That doesn't happen magically. We don't put a bunch of content out there on social media, not do anything. People consume our content, call up and go, "Hey, will you come list my house?"
no.
Like, that's just not, that's 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 100. If you're really good and you have great communication systems like Greg Harrelson does in Myrtle Beach, maybe that happens to you 6 or 7 times a month, right?
That's a lot.
Which is a lot. He's also been in business for 20 years, and he started
Yeah.
calling in his mom's basement when he was in his late teens, right?
Where he
So
still
he's got,
happily lives. Still
yeah,
resides
exactly.
happily.
The story ends halfway with Greg living in his parents' basement. No, but he's obviously got a track record, and he has extremely good and very thorough automated follow-up systems that are sending emails and texts and market reports and things like that in response, right? That are going out on his behalf.
Hmm.
But even then, if you really want to max it, if you're relatively new and you don't have those 20 or 30 years of experience and all those systems set up, even if you were to be handed the keys to something like that, if you wanted to do more than the deals that come in naturally, the ones that just kind of fall into your lap, you still have to make some sort of effort to get people into conversation, right? Like, there's that, you have to build that bridge from social media to them actually working with you. They don't spend enough time, and it's not the right level of communication for that to make that big of a decision without other types of communication, in
Yeah.
person, face
You
to
need to
face. Yeah,
cultivation. I think is what you're talking about. And Gene is a
yeah,
master of getting
recording.
the top of filter people. Hey, this is who I am. Come into my ecosystem, learn about me, and then it's up to us to really develop that relationship. Like I did that yesterday. I called literally my first client ever, Jonathan and Diane Smith. We sold them a house in Westside Danville for $1.25 million. I'll never forget that number. Which I think is probably worth like $5 million now. He's like blown it out. But I called him up, and I haven't talked to him in years. I called him up yesterday out of the blue. Hey man, how's life? What's new? Let's get together. Let's grab lunch. Let's catch up. Dude's super wealthy. Like he hasn't worked for years. And I was like, hey, hopefully he'll call me back. He called me up today. I was like, hey Greg, good to hear you, man. Sorry I didn't get back to you. Let's catch up. Love to see how life is. Call me later this afternoon. It's about just staying in contact. But yet,
Yeah.
I mean, Gene, Matt, answer this one for me.
Mhm.
For me, like I told you guys before, Bob, the insurance guy, I literally almost didn't dial his number yesterday for fear of rejection,
Right.
for fear of being non-relevant in his life anymore. So I almost didn't want to take that chance of being rejected or rebuffed. But I
That's
took
so
the
weird.
chance.
You can
It's
call
so
somebody
weird.
up cold where
Yeah,
they're infinitely more likely to reject you,
I know. It's the
and
weirdest
that
damn
rolls off
thing.
you like water off a duck's back.
Like
I've heard
nothing.
people marvel about how you handle rejection on your phone calls from people cold, which most people can't handle. Most people would rather pick up the phone and call somebody that they have some connection to, and they feel less rejection. Somehow you feel more. I'm sure that says something very deep-seated about your
Oh,
psychology, but
something. I'm
we
definitely
don't have time
fucked
to
up
get into
somewhere.
that.
I'm definitely fucked up somewhere in my head.
I'm
Uh,
sure. Well, we
but
all
it's
are.
but it's fascinating to think about this. It's
Mhm.
like you don't want to go and talk to that past client because of whatever you put in your head, which is called complete bullshit, made up lie. You know, and if you just get out of your way, you'll be just fine. And here's the thing. I have literally lost every day that I'm cleaning up my database. Yesterday brought me to my knees essentially, because there was 4 people in my database, all had sold, all over $1.3 million. And we found them years ago, completely stopped calling them. We lost so much money. I actually called a guy this week. He's like, "Hey, Greg, good to hear from you, man. How's life?" I'm like, "It's good, dude. You know, we're talking about selling." He's like, "Good news. We're in escrow." I'm like, "Awesome. When are you closing?" "We're closing Thursday."
Oh, it just ripped your heart out, threw it back in, and sewed you up.
I'm like,
that sucks.
But you know what? I own the fact that I totally screwed up. I don't blame anybody else. It's 100% on me. And, you know, people love to pass the buck. My dad used to look at the tour sheet every Thursday. That's when Caravan or Tour here. And he'd go down the list, and he would pick out our past client properties and be like, "Oh, we lost that one? Man, why didn't they call us?" And I'm like, I went back to the database. And we haven't talked to them since 2012. Why the fuck would they call us?
Yeah.
And that's what our mindset is. We've talked about this several times, is like, you know, when you say like, "Oh, man, my client listed with someone else." Well, did they know that you were there? They were your client? I don't believe they got that memo.
That's true. A quick anecdote from me on the wins and the relational side of things. I was just 4 clients I've signed up. So we got 2 new podcast clients this week, 2 new ones last week. And they were all some variation of referral or introduction, or in one of their case, I directly prospected. 1 out of the 3, I directly prospected, found her, identified her, put her on one of our client shows, and then she circled back around and loved the experience and wanted to talk more. The other 3 were direct referrals, or I was literally at an event 2 years ago. Speaking of relational, I was at an event over maybe even pushing 3 years ago, and somebody said, "Hey, I need to introduce you to somebody that should start a podcast." Drags me over, we shake hands, we had a conversation that lasted all of 3 minutes. We just kept keeping in touch. I would reach out, occasionally he would reach out. At one point we had a conversation about podcasting together. It wasn't the right time. Flash forward to a couple weeks ago, we reconnect, and he's ready to roll. Right?
That's awesome.
So 2.5 to 3 years later, and it's not like I wasn't gunning that whole time to sell him on doing something he didn't need to be doing, right? It was just, I knew he was the type of person that I wanted to work with. He's the type of person that I want to have in my life, just in general, right? And the priority was the relationship. I didn't know how it would manifest or what the end result was going to be. It could have just been, in the end, he might have just referred me to someone else, and he may have never pulled the trigger himself. And I think that's the same way for anyone who's in real estate. Going after your ideal clients, they may send you a referral before they ever actually need to do something themselves. Mm-hmm. That's still a good thing, and that's very likely to happen because they don't really have to risk anything. Where it ties in with the social media, and I think it helps us, is the more we are secure and confident in ourselves that we are a person who is worthy of being referred and worthy of being introduced, the more it gives us the ability to get out of our own way and ask for people to do it and reach out to people knowing that we have some value to offer in between the transaction, right?
You're talking about mental health then. I mean, becoming mentally stable between your ears, not, always looking at if you didn't have the greatest year in 18, or maybe if you second guess yourself maybe in a personal way or something like that, or maybe your weight's not where you want it to be.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. We're not getting into inspirational, motivational territory. I'm talking about something just very strategic. Becoming a person who is well connected, who knows that you can bring value to anyone that you meet because you can introduce them to someone else in your network that will be of value to them. That's what I mean. That is a different source of confidence than trying to conjure it up from the inside to try to change your psychology. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Gene,
that's something anybody can do.
By the way, Gene, Steve wants to make sure that we said hi to you. So, hi, Gene.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, Steve. Well, listen, I want to piggyback on Matt's thing there. I think so in our society now, and I see this a lot in real estate because you're right. Matt, especially in the real estate game, that's one of those things where you don't typically call somebody up in most cases and you say, hi, Matt, it's Gene. Are you looking to sell your real estate? Yeah, it just so happens today we decided to move. Like, that's typically a long game, right? Social media and the marketing behind social media and the need it now psychology that we've built and that keeps, like, everything now needs to be 15 minutes ago. I needed to have it 15 minutes ago. That doesn't play well. So when you, like my kids get everything they need all the time immediately, we're used to that. And so when you have to play the patience game in real life, that's hard for people sometimes. So, like, for me, if you, like, I'll go back to, like, brand new real estate agents. I think a lot of people make the mistake that they go get their license and they think immediately the commissions are going to pour in. When something like that is, you got to build, and maybe 4 years from now, the guy that you made that first cold call to is ready to make the sale.
Yeah.
If you make enough relationships and interactions through social media and keep those fire over time, then 3 years from now, you're going to have a great year.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want the easy button, the golden goose that lays the eggs here, I will literally tell you the only thing you need to do, and you will make a fucking killing in this business. Go out and have 25 conversations and hand out your card to 25 people every single day. Your business will flood in like the River Nile. I mean, it will just dump on you. In about 6 months, you'll have business coming out of your ears. But here's the thing. You have to stay persistent and consistent on your actions. There's no days off. There's no rests. Everywhere you go, every person you come in contact with, you have to be assertive, in initiating the conversations. And then don't be a pussy and don't be like, oh, well, I had a nice conversation. I'm just going to walk away now. They'll remember me. Dude, fuck them, hand in your business card. Like, here you go. I'm a real estate professional here in the area. Let me know if I can ever do anything to help you or your family.
That's it.
You know what? That's it. That is it.
There's no shame in telling people what you do for a living.
No.
The ones that you want to work with and that care about you will give you their business because they care about you when it's time and they need your service. Right?
Yeah. I mean, my clients yesterday did that. I mean, I sat down for tea and cookies, and I thought we were just going to hang out and chat and catch up. And they're like, dude, we want to sell our house for $1.2 million and go buy another $500,000 or $600,000. That's like, it's going to be about a $2 million volume with my clients.
Did you pay for the tea?
Fuck no, I didn't, dude. I just showed up. I just went to their house to get, and then they gave me a bag of oranges. So I won on like all different levels. It was amazing.
I don't know. I think you should have bought the tea. That's bad karma.
Well, I didn't know we were having tea. They wanted me to come over and hang out, dude.
Yeah, why are you drinking tea anyway? Burpees and tea and all this stuff, and Matt Johnson with trees. This makes me uncomfortable.
She's 82 years old, man. I mean, God.
I don't know. You guys are changing. I don't know you anymore.
I put whiskey in my tea if it made you feel better.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's good.
I can't do this shit sober, man. Jesus. I mean, okay, so let's do this. Gene, if you were to look back from January of 2018 till right now in 18, what have you seen digitally marketing speaking change? Like, what trends have you seen shift from beginning of 18 to now in 18, and where do you think it's going to go in 19 for digital?
Oof. Man, that's a loaded question. So the first thing I would say to you right now is I think there's been a massive shift away from Facebook.
Yeah,
mostly towards Instagram, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest shift, I think. Although, I just read something the other day, and I didn't dig into it, but they're saying the federal government's now suing Facebook for the Cambridge Analytica scandal. So that's going to yeah, I just saw a headline the other day, and I didn't dig into it like I should have, but I kind of was pressed for time, so I didn't check it. But you might want to Google that and take a look. So I think the move, and which is hilarious to me. I think it's funny because they're both owned by the same company.
Yeah.
It's like, screw you, Facebook. You screwed us. Let's go. Everybody come with me to Instagram.
It's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's like,
that's
what?
Right. Well, you're robbing Peter to pay Peter.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
So that was the one thing, and I think.
I'm fooling them all, Gene. I'm moving everything to WhatsApp.
Wait, I read something about WhatsApp the other day too. This is
That's owned by Facebook?
Well, yes. No, not that. Of course that, but I think they're coming up with their own cryptocurrency now.
WhatsApp is?
Yeah, I think it was WhatsApp. I might be telling tales out of school, but I swear I saw a little snippet. I'll have to see if I can dig it up while we're talking, but I just saw an article.
You know, that's actually, I mean, it's totally off topic on this thing, but when it comes to WhatsApp, there was an interview done that I read or looked at it, sorry, and it was talking about the guy who invented WhatsApp. He was paid what, 19 billion for WhatsApp. I mean, it was some astronomically stupid large number. And what he said was, and this goes back to success versus happiness, right? He said that after he sold WhatsApp for $19 billion, his kids, if they don't fuck it up, are going to have money for the rest of their lives. They're
crazy,
set, right?
Yep.
But he said he's miserable now with the $19 billion because he has no more drive, because his baby was sold. WhatsApp was sold.
I'd like for him to call me.
I will take his problem on.
That's right. Just take 1/8 of his problem off.
I'm
see
totally
if I can help him.
Give me $100 million, and I'll see if I can commiserate with you. I'll try. I'll do my best. But I guess my point is that, like, when you guys are going through this struggle, you should enjoy this journey that you're on, of like trying to be the number one agent, or trying to get more sales, or doing more listings, or whatever you're doing in 2019. Start to love the process, enjoy the process, celebrate the micro wins. I celebrate the shit out of the fact when I get my 3 send out cards and my 10 database calls. Dude, I am fucking pumped that I made my day rock that day. Because it's all
how do you celebrate that, Greg? What do you do? What do you
experience? Take my pants off and dance around my house naked. It's fantastic. It's free.
The no pants dance.
No pants
dance. I like it. Hands off, dance off.
What do I really do?
Yes.
I allow myself to have a win. So I will, like, if I don't get my goals, then I don't allow myself to have like a cocktail at night and just relax.
Right.
Because there has to be pain if there's no gain. And
right.
so so I'll push myself. I'll do whatever it takes to get there, because I want to sit down. I want to Netflix a little bit, have a cocktail, chill out, kind of let my brain float off into nothing for half a minute, and then go to sleep. So for me, it's that reward, and it's also the fulfillment of knowing that every action I take today will benefit my future self. Because my dad has always said, the people we meet today are the people we'll be doing business with tomorrow, aka down the road at some point. So that's my celebration. It's the celebration of my future. I love to envision my future. I do my meditation, my goal review, my energy release every morning, and I visualize, doing 36 deals, so I can keep and maintain everything, taking my radio show national into 3 different major marketplaces by the end of in 12 months from now, keeping our podcast numbers growing, and being able to keep a solid, steady relationship with my girlfriend. Those are very small things, and I take actions every day for them, and then I just celebrate the fact. I allow myself to go out and get a cup of coffee, or go get a beer at lunch if I hit my goals early, or just small things.
I love the beer at lunch.
It makes me so sleepy, though. I'm sitting there.
It's better than the whiskey at lunch.
All right, gentlemen. Speaking of sleepy, I have to. You guys are putting me to sleep. No, this is really good. So here's what I like about that, and then I'm going to bail. Here's where I struggle, and where you've got me beat, Greg, is that you have a physical ritual with a substance that you've tied to success. It literally physically makes you feel better to do it, and so you have a very visceral physical way of celebrating when you've done your daily actions. Mm-hmm. I have the daily actions. I don't frickin' miss one, but I do it because I don't want to beat myself up about not doing it. I don't actually really take the time to celebrate it. The barest celebration I have is when I write up my daily report to my business coach, where I inform him that I have hit my daily goal once again, including my workout streak and stuff like that. And I allow myself a little bit of satisfaction there, but I don't have that physical thing yet where I really take a step back. Because by that time I've already had my afternoon coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't found that physical way to celebrate success. So I tell you what, I pledge this weekend I'll try the pants off dance off.
I was just going to say that.
No, I'm
I was just going to say that. I'm kidding. You do the pants off dance off.
Viral video.
That's right.
Viral video.
That's right. And then I got to roll, guys. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, Matt, you're out of here. All right, Gene.
Happy New Year, brother.
So, my friend, let's continue this for a few more minutes, and then we'll rock out of here.
Sounds good.
What do you do to celebrate? I mean, what do you do to celebrate for your daily goals? I mean, what do you do?
Well, I probably don't do that as much as I really should, but I'm sort of like you. I enjoy, having a glass of wine, sitting and relaxing. It's weird. I go into the gym. Like when I find myself having free time and I'm feeling good about something that goes on. I like getting out to the gym, and so I'm in that community where we kind of there's a lot of mingling going on along with the working out, right? So you get to talk and BS with some of your friends, and then the other thing I like to do too. If I have a really big win, I go out to eat. I love oh man, I love going to restaurants, and even my wife. You'll laugh. I think most people think I'm a goofball, and it's kind of really funny. My 10-year-old, it makes her heart hurt that people eat by themselves in restaurants. Like she literally cries, like he's alone. I don't want to be. And I have to always tell her like when she was younger, I used to lie to her. When she would say, Dad, because she'd go, Dad, are you going out to eat dinner tonight? And I'd go, yeah. Like they'd be away or something, or my in-laws. And she goes, you're not by yourself, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm going with friends. And meanwhile, I love eating by myself. Like my wife's like, you're a weirdo. I'll go have my phone, read a book, do some work, right? Do some drawing in my planner, like whatever. And I'll go and have a nice steak, a nice plate, drink a glass of wine, and just in peace and just people watch. So like when I have a good win, I that's probably what I would do. I would go to dinner. That's the top thing on my list, to a real nice place, or even sometimes just the crap places that are local. I love Mexican food. Yeah. And there's this authentic Mexican food restaurant by me that serves these phenomenal margaritas. Yeah. And I'll go eat chorizo and drink margaritas while I celebrate. I love it. I don't care.
Dude, that's so weird. Like for several years, I would take myself to my own personal birthday lunch. Birthday breakfast. I would pretty much tell everyone to piss off. And I would just be. I like to celebrate my birthday by myself. I don't like anyone else around me. I get my toes start to itch when people are around me on my birthday. And so I will go out there and I'll just take myself to a breakfast, get myself a Bloody Mary or something. Just it's my birthday. I don't care. It's my birthday. Yep. And it is true. Like I have no problem going to like a brewery or going to a restaurant and eating by myself. I mean, I've been by myself on my own for a long freaking time. So if you want to go try new shit, you got to figure out how to do it on your own. Yeah. And there's no shame in that at all.
No, listen, I tell my wife this. I mean, for me, sometimes it's just good to not have the noise. And I'm not saying that my kids and my wife are noise, but anybody who's a parent and who's married knows that once in a while. And listen, she won't admit this, but I know she loves going away with her friends, and I know she loves when nobody's home and she's solo for 15 minutes, because you can sort of not have to stress about what's going on in the world and just do something stupid. Sometimes I'll just pull up my phone and surf Instagram, and she'll be like, "What are you doing?" Nothing really. I'm just being a voyeur. No, you know what I mean? Like I am. I'm just surfing and just looking. I'm not,
Dude, that's the weirdest thing. I know my girl, like, she needs her alone time. Like, she's not me. Like, she does not need to be around people all the time. And so she was over at my house last weekend, and I got up early because I just popped up, and I just went into the main room, started watching TV and just kind of relaxing. She and I are texting rooms away from each other. Yeah. She's like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Giving you alone time." Just stayed out there for 15 more minutes, and I went back in and, pounced on her. Not in a weird way. Not in a weird way, but just kind of like, all right, I'm tired of bouncing off fucking satellites to talk to you. You're in my house. This is stupid. But it is true to get that alone time. So, I mean, if you guys feel weird about it, I want you guys to try to get some alone time, try to do something just with yourself, or just create that thing. My co-host on the radio show, Tiffany, her thing for success is running. If she doesn't get her run in, and she's a CrossFitter like Eugene, if she doesn't get her workout in, she is one cranky chick.
That's me, dude.
You need your workout, right?
Oh, my wife will say to me, like, there'll be once in a blue moon I get away from it, and there'll be a week where I miss the gym. And she's like, "You are like a 4-year-old. Like, you're moping around. Everything's like, it's almost like I don't have my coffee. Like, I don't want to work today." And she's like, "Will you go to the gym? You're being a 4-year-old." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's really what it is. I need those endorphins, man. I got to get out there."
It is true, man. I mean, I get up, I hit the gym, I feel so good about it. Because the one thing that I guess the big thing I also took away from 2018 is the word standards. Where are your standards? And 12 months ago, right now, my standards were dramatically different than where my standards are now. My life is about 180 degrees difference in certain different areas. I was much heavier. I was sick as a dog right now. I literally was sick as a dog because my cousin's wedding was on the 30th last year.
They're related, by the way.
What?
You being heavy and being sick.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yep.
And so, the old Chinese proverb that says, the teacher will appear when the student is ready.
Yep.
And that's literally what happened to me. So, guys, I want you to start keeping that in mind. When you're ready, the teacher will show up. And Tony Robbins was talking about something on one of his videos. Since I work for EXP at my house, man, I just sit there and listen to all this inspirational shit all day long. I don't listen to stupid music. I listen inspirational, motivational. I just keep my brain in a very positive place, right?
And conspiracy podcasts.
But you got to throw a little bit of junk in there.
That's right.
That's like my mental fast food.
It is. You're right. It's awesome.
But he said, he brought the word standards. Where are your standards? You live to your standards. And I'm like, where are my standards? Started looking at different aspects and points in my life, and I'm like, holy mackerel, man, like my standards are so low on certain things. And so I decided to shift them. And so that is definitely one of the things that, I don't tell her this. Well, she'll never know this. I'll give her by this by now. But about my girl, Gene, you'll know this thing is for the Spartan race, they have this little, you get a little chunk of the total medals, like the blue, the red, and I think green medals, and you put them together after you do the sprint, the super, and some like beast or something like that. You progressively get harder. Mm-hmm. So I bought her this little thing so she can put her first little medal in there. And so that's going to be a thing that I'm going to push for. That's a huge thing. I want those 3 medals so freaking bad, and that's what the standard is for me now, is to get to that physical ability to compete at those levels. Which means I have to change my diet, my habits, my sleeping patterns, my everything, my workouts. I have to push on every level to get to that new version. So where am I going to be in 12 months? I'm going to be a much more physically fit human being than I am today, because I want that blue fucking chunk of that medal, which is the beast, which is a hell of a long run. Yeah. But I can do it. Anybody can do this stuff, guys. So if you're not where you want to be, just find something to push yourself. I mean, these stupid sticky notes push me every day to work harder in my business. My workouts watching myself get my ass kicked by my girlfriend in workouts. We worked out on Sunday. She just sprinted past me, and I was like huffing and puffing and slugging along, and I'm like, this hurts. And she's like, what's wrong? Come on, hurry up. And I'm like, well, I got 4 months to get my ass in shape, because I cannot be the fat dude on race day. It won't happen. So.
And by the way, your business will increase as you do that.
What? Because of the workouts?
Yeah. Yep.
How so?
Well, first of all, because you're gonna exude confidence. And exuding confidence is going to make you better on your cold calls. Your cold calls are going to go better. Your interactions at Rockstar Connect when you do your networking events are going to go better, because you hold your shoulders higher and you feel better about yourself. Mm-hmm. Things are just going to be people are going to be able to taste and smell the confidence coming off you, and that's a good thing when you're in real estate.
That's funny you mentioned that. The last Rockstar event I did last week, I have 3 people that I'm going to do lunches with. I already did one of them, and I haven't really, this is the first time when they're like, hey man, I want to meet me up, let's do lunch, let's do something. So, and I had started my workout, so that I think there's really something there to that. So for all you guys listening, get more confident, whatever it's going to take.
Yep.
Right? Whatever it takes. All right. We want to put a little bow on this bad boy?
Do it, man. You have, that's your gig, right? So listen, just whoever's listening, and to you as well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I appreciate what we were talking about wins this year. I think one of my biggest wins was being able to stay on this podcast on Fridays with you guys, so I'm thankful.
Well, you better stay on this show. We're going to have to hunt down the evil bald ninja. Gene, how do they get a hold of you?
Just hit me up on genevolpe.com, or you can always get me at gene@gvimedia.com if you want to send an email. But if you go to my website, there's a couple nice little chat boxes, phone numbers, pretty easy to get in touch with me that way, or Facebook inbox, in Messenger, whatever. Any of those ways.
Okay, fantastic. So since Matt's not here, Gene, you have to put the color of the bow. And I think I know which color you're going to pick.
No, actually you don't. I'm going to change it from the orange.
Oh.
And I'm going to go neon green.
Wow. Didn't see that coming. Okay, neon green. Neon green it is. All right, guys, if you guys want to reach out to me, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Again, go to bookmcdaniel.com. That's where we're going to talk for 30 minutes about EXP, talk about what Matt and I are doing over here, all the products and coaching and support and training that we do give and have given to all of our team members. You can do personal coaching with me. You have access to our whole vault of content and products, so at no cost. Plus, you get to hang out and run with some really cool, fun people that are a part of our family over at EXP. So go to bookmcdaniel.com. We'll do that there. And we love you guys. We truly love you. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you for loving, supporting, watching, listening, sharing this podcast. Go to Apple. Go to anywhere you get this show. Please give it a 5-star review, and so that we can get more eyeballs on this on iTunes. It would help us a ton and help the other agents who haven't heard about us yet. So that'd be awesome. And until next time, guys, know that I love you. Know that Gene loves you. Know that Matt kind of loves you. He's not here to defend himself, so I can put him under the bus. But we really do love spending time with you guys. As of right now, guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Kwanzaa, and everything else I forgot. But we love you. We will see you in 2019. Till then, peace out, ninjas! We're gone.